friends. I'd like to point your attention to our Alliance core values that are at the beginning of our Preparing to Plant manual. Right now they're on page 4. Over time those pages may change a bit, but go to page 4 to start, and you're looking for the image that's on the screen here. All of these 7 values are absolutely vital to all of us as an Alliance family. But I want to take just a couple of moments and point out value number 1 and value number 7. And I'll call those the bookends of our values. Again, while all of these values are essential, I believe that value number 1 and value number 7 can drift over time if we're not very careful. And so for the purposes of church planting, whether you're sending out a plant as an established greenhouse church, or whether you're the planter or the planter team going out, I just want you to keep these values in mind. 1 and 7. And I do encourage you to read through all of them, of course, and we need to live out all of them, all of us, in our lives and in our churches. But number 1 says this: lost people matter to God, and He wants them found. Now, we would all agree to this, but again, over time in a church, this value can drift, or if other things are happening within the local church, sometimes we can forget that God wants to see this happen, and He wants us to see the people around us reached, and He wants us to take risks to reach the nations in our neighborhood. God wants lost people to be found. My ordination was over 30 years ago before we started our first plant, and Acts 26 was read over me as my marching orders as a church planter. If you recall, in Acts 26, Paul is recounting to King Agrippa how the Lord reached him on that road to Damascus, how He took him to the ground, and some of the words He spoke to him, which were these. Acts 26, verse 17, "I will rescue you," Jesus says, "from your own people and from the Gentiles. I'm sending you to them to open their eyes and turn them from darkness to light and from the power of Satan to God, so that they may receive forgiveness of sins and a place among those who are sanctified by faith in me." The Lord here is talking about lost people. He's talking about your neighbors. He's talking about family members. He's talking about people in your work environment, your friends maybe, and God's goal for them, God's will for them, is to see them turn from darkness to light and from the power of Satan to God, that they might receive forgiveness of sins and a place among those who are sanctified by faith in Jesus. That's what we're called to do. And church planting has been proven to be one of the most effective ways to see that happen. Let me take you now to the other bookend in our values, number 7, which says this: achieving God's purposes means taking faith-filled risk. This always involves change. This is important to remember because established churches that become greenhouses will continually take faith-filled risks to send people out. I know I've planted multiple churches, and those multiple churches have also planted. So I've not only pastored, but I've also been the sending pastor many times. And let me tell you, it takes risks, and it takes change, and it takes a cost, because you never feel like you have enough leaders. You never feel like you have enough money. Fill in the blanks. It seems like there's always a deficit, but this is kind of the way it works. And these risks are sort of like our fish and loaves that we hand to Jesus, and we say, we're going to give you this and look for you to do something powerful through it. And of course, if you're a church planter, it's risky. There will be change and there will be cost. And I don't think it happens unless we really feel that value, that achieving God's purposes means taking faith-filled risks, and this will involve change. Again, let me encourage you to go back and read through all of the values, both in the manual. You can also find them at our website, cmalliance.org.